Welcome back to NaturalOne, the channel that feels like Bing. It does exactly what you needed to do, it's been there the whole time, and yet any search engine is the better choice. We're back to doing the impossible, taking your favorite pop culture characters and mash them into the rule set of D&D until they fit. And today, we have a genuinely unhinged one. The chain-wielding, space motorcycle riding, last surviving Zarnian, Lobo. He killed his entire planet for a science fair project, gave himself an A, and has spent every moment since doing whatever he wants across the galaxy with absolutely no consequences. Let's see how the main man fits into D&D.
The name's Lobo. That's L as in lacerate.
Stats are important when you're the last Zarnian, and Lobo didn't get that title by being subtle about it. He got it by being the one who killed all the other Zarnians, so the stats are going to reflect that. We'll start with a 15 in strength. He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman multiple times, and somehow walked away. The 15 is honestly an insult, but Standard Array doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does Lobo. Following that up is a 14 in Constitution. The man has been blown up, shot, stabbed, decapitated, and thrown into the sun, and is regenerated from all of it. Next up, a 13 in Charisma. He's loud, he's obnoxious, he rides into every situation on a space motorcycle, and somehow people either love him or get out of the way. And he's getting played by Jason Momoa, so... With a 12 in Wisdom, he knows exactly what he's doing, even when it looks like he doesn't. Lobo always has a plan. It's just usually a plan that involves someone getting hurt. A 10 in Dexterity means he's not exactly fast, he's just inevitable. And finally, an 8 in Intelligence. He gave himself an A on the science fair project where he committed planetary genocide. The grading criteria was clearly not very rigorous.
So that's how you want to play it? Fine. Contract calls for the main man to put on a show for the locals.
Lobo is a Zarnian, which in custom lineage terms means we get to build him however we want, which feels appropriate for a man who operates entirely outside of any rules anyone has ever tried to impose on him. Plus 2 to strength brings him to a 17, which is an odd stat, and the tough feat means he has significantly more hit points than anyone at the table is comfortable with. Then we go with investigation as a skill, because finding people is literally his job and he's very good at it, even if his methods are not what most investigators would recommend. His background is urban bounty hunter, because Lobo has been a bounty hunter longer than most civilizations have existed. As for skills, insight is for reading a room, and persuasion for when he needs someone to cooperate before he makes them cooperate. And YouTube probably won't let us expand on that in the first couple of minutes, if you catch my drift.
I can do trouble.
Kicking things off with a level of Barbarian, because there was never going to be another option. I mean, there could have been, but Wizard just didn't feel right. What does feel right is Rage, which makes him hit harder and take less damage, which for Lobo is quite necessary. Unarmored Defense means his AC scales with Constitution, which, given that he survived being thrown into the sun, is doing a lot of work. Intimidation and Athletics round out his skills, because Lobo solves most problems with one or the other, and occasionally both at the same time. Reckless Attack and Danger Sense arrive at level 2. Reckless Attack means he swings with advantage whenever he wants, and Danger Sense gives him advantage on Dexterity saving throws. Like, say, Fireball. But like, really big. And also, in the sky. Path of the Totem Warrior at level 3, Bear specifically. Because if anything in this game represents Lobo's complete refusal to go down, it's resistance to every damage type while raging. Spirit Seeker and Primal Knowledge round things out, with Perception keeping those red eyes locked on every bounty in the vicinity. And straight up plus 2 to Strength at level 4 bring it to a 19. Which is good, I guess. I just don't like odd stats, that's all. Extra Attack and Fast Movement come online at level 5, meaning Lobo is now hitting twice per action and moving faster than someone his size has any right to. The main man does not wait for anyone. Aspect of the Beast at level 6, Eagle specifically, meaning Lobo can now see for miles in every direction, which is useful for when your job involves finding people who very much do not want to be found across the entire galaxy. Feral Instinct and Instinctive Pounce arrive at level 7. Feral Instinct gives him advantage on initiative, meaning Lobo almost always goes first, and Instinctive Pounce lets him move up to half his speed when he enters a rage. So he's raging, he's moving, and he's already in your face before you've even processed what's happening. Finally, at level 8, we get that plus 1 to strength, bringing it up to a clean 20. Finally, a nice, even, beautiful number. Lobo is now officially capped out in his primary stat, and we are all relieved. And Charisma gets the other plus 1 to a 14 as well. And combined with the Jason Momoa casting, that feels about right. Brutal Critical at level 9 means critical hits deal even more damage, which on a character who already hits like a freight train is genuinely unfair for whoever's on the receiving end. Spirit Walker and Survival round out level 10. Spirit Walker lets him commune with nature spirits, which for a man who rides a space motorcycle across the galaxy feels like a very specific skill set. But Lobo contains multitudes. Mostly violence, but multitudes of it. Relentless Rage at level 11 means if something hits Lobo hard enough to drop him while he's raging, he gets the Constitution save to stay at 1 hit point instead. Lobo does not go down. The rules now agree. A clean +2 to Constitution at level 12, bring it to a 16. More hit points, better save, harder to kill. As if that was ever really the problem.
Didn't want you to think I'm going soft on you.
Switching over to Fighter at level 13, because at some point the chain needs a fighting style attached to it. Great weapon fighting specifically, because a pole arm is sort of like a chain, but with one very large link. Look, that's what I've got. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. Wait, don't actually go... Okay. Second Wind gives him a quick regeneration mid-fight, which was sorely needed. Action Surge at level 14, because sometimes one turn of Lobo isn't enough, and the bounty isn't going to collect itself. Rune Knight at level 15, and this is where things get interesting. Giant Smite lets him grow in size to fit his sometimes 7'6" frame. Look, the wikis are not helpful here. But more importantly, Fire Rune and Frost Rune give him tools for grappling and debuffing targets. Chaining them up, if you will. And Smith's tools round out the package because somebody has to maintain that before-mentioned chain, and Lobo is absolutely doing it himself in a gas station bathroom somewhere between the galaxies. Fighter brings a clean +2 to Constitution at level 16, bumping it up to an 18. At this point, Lobo has more hit points than most encounters are designed to handle, and we are not apologizing for it. Extra attack would improve to 3 attacks at level 17, except Barbarian and Fighter extra attacks don't actually stack in 5e. So instead of pretending that works, we're just going to take a moment to remind you that we work really hard on these videos, and if you at all are enjoying them, then tossing a like or even a subscribe really does make it so much easier for us to keep doing this. Sorry, that went too long. Back to the build. Another ability score improvement at level 18, this time bumping Charisma to 16. Jason Momoa nodding approvingly somewhere. You'll see why very soon. Level 19 and we're taking a Warlock dip, Celestial Patron specifically, because Lobo has died and come back so many times that Heaven and Hell both have a restraining order against him. Healing Light is his regeneration, Light and Sacred Flame join the cantrips, and Sacred Flame is absolutely a frag grenade. We will not be elaborating. Eldritch Blast is his big gun. His very big gun. His extremely large and definitely compensating for nothing gun. Or it's part of his chain. Look, flavored means we can do whatever we want. As for his other cantrip, we grab True Strike, which is the only way I can think he would go toe-to-toe with Superman. Truly unimaginable power. Hex and Armor of Agathis round out the spells, because Armor of Agathis on Lobo means hitting him damages you, which at this point is just adding insult to injury. Also, it gives him even more hit points, but like, cold this time. At level 20, Fiendish Vigor stacks more temporary hit points on top of everything else. Yay, regeneration! Grasp of Hadar yanks targets toward him, which is just the chain doing what chains do. And Cure Wounds is here because sometimes even Lobo needs a little more regen stacked in on the last couple levels. Now, he can ride off on his... Oh, damn it! I knew we were forgetting something!
Someone's paid me a heap of cash for your carcass, and the main man always delivers.
Lobo didn't survive this long by accident. Here's why the main man works. He will not die. Tough Feet, Bear Totem resistance to everything while raging, Relentless Rage, Healing Light, Fiendish Vigor, Armor of Agathis, Cure Wounds, Heaven Tried, Hell Tried. They both gave up and issued restraining orders. Your DM is next, and I wish them the best of luck. He hits you hard. Max Strength, Great Weapon Fighting, Reckless Attack, Brutal Critical, Giant Smite, and Action Surge. Every swing has something extra on it, and the crits are going to make someone at the table deeply uncomfortable. That someone is the DM. It was always going to be the DM. Nobody gets away. Eagle Aspect, Feral Instinct, Instinctive Pounce, Fast Movement. He sees you from miles away, goes first, and closes the gap before you've processed that he's moving. There's no running from Lobo. He will find you. He will collect you. That's the job. And he's got the chain on lock. He's got the Fire Rune restraints. The Frost Rune help with grapples. Grasp of Hadar yanks you back towards him. If Lobo decides you're not going anywhere, then guess what? You're not going anywhere. Even the main man has his bad days. Here's where this build falls short. You gotta pick a lane. Every Warlock spell on this sheet, Eldritch Blast, Hex, Armor of Agathis, Sacred Flame, all of it goes offline the moment Rage starts, which is the moment every fight starts. So the entire Warlock dip becomes the thing you do before the punching and after the punching, but never during the punching, which for Lobo is most of the fight. He's a slow burn build too. Constitution stays low for way too long on a build that is supposed to be unkillable. The first 10 levels are a perfectly good Barbarian and not much else. The version of Lobo that actually feels right doesn't show up until the back half, and your DM is going to notice. And we have to mention the Dolphins. Look, Lobo has an intergalactic treaty with Dolphins. He considers them sacred, will not touch them under any circumstances. The most violent character in DC Comics, the man who killed his entire planet for a science fair project, draws a hard line at Dolphins. We don't know why. Nobody knows why. The wiki just says it's true and moves on. So if your DM puts a dolphin in the encounter, and a good DM absolutely will after watching this, you're just going to have to stand there and let it happen. This is the build's only true weakness. And that's the end of our Lobo build. If you enjoyed this chain-swinging, space motorcycle riding, dolphin-respecting bounty hunter, consider leaving a like, chaining down the subscribe button, and yanking that notification bell so you never miss any more chaos like this. If you have any thoughts about Lobo, how you would have handled the rage versus spellcasting problem, if you think the Dolphins thing is the funniest lore in DC history, or about Jason Momoa and whether he was born for this role, leave them in the comments. And if my rambling went a little too far across the galaxy, this build and every other build we've ever done is on Patreon completely for free, no intergalactic treaty required. I'm writing out now, so until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.
I just wanna be part of